Welcome. As the Game of Thrones unfolds, only the most knowledgeable shall claim the Iron Throne. Do you possess the insight of Tyrion Lannister, the bravery of Jon Snow, or the cunning of Cersei? Which ancient order built the wall to protect the realm from White Walkers in Game of Thrones? The Night's Watch, a sworn brotherhood, built the wall to guard the realm against White Walkers and wildlings. What is the ancestral sword of House Stark that was melted down to create two swords, Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper? Ice, the ancestral sword of House Stark, was melted to create Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper, gifted to Jaime Lannister and Brienne of Tarth. Who is the only character in Game of Thrones that has successfully tamed a dragon? Daenerys Targaryen is known for her 3 dragons and her ability to tame and ride them. In which city is the Iron Bank of Braavos located in Game of Thrones? The Iron Bank of Braavos is located in the city of Braavos, a powerful financial institution in the world of Game of Thrones. What is the name of Daenerys Targaryen's largest dragon in Game of Thrones? Daenerys' largest dragon, feared by all, is named Drogon, a symbol of her power in the series. What is the significance of House Mormont's sigil, which features a fierce bear? The fierce bear symbolizes the house's strength and resilience, reflecting their stoic and unwavering nature in facing adversities. Who killed King Joffrey at his own wedding feast in Game of Thrones? Olenna Tyrell, the grandmother of Margaery Tyrell, poisoned Joffrey as a revenge for his role in the death of her grandson, Sir Loras Tyrell. What is the birth name of the character known as the Mountain in Game of Thrones? Gregor Clegane is the birth name of the Mountain. He is known for his immense size and brutal strength in the series. Who is the three-eyed raven that guides Bran Stark in his journey in Game of Thrones? Brynden Rivers, also known as Blood Raven, is the three-eyed raven who appears in Bran Stark's visions and serves as his guide. What material is used to make the lethal weapons known as dragon glass in Game of Thrones? Dragon glass is made of obsidian, a naturally occurring volcanic glass. It is capable of killing White Walkers. What is the title given to the ruler of the Iron Islands in Game of Thrones? The leader of the Iron Islands is known as the Lord Reaper of Pike, ruling over the seafaring region. Which famous actor had a cameo appearance as a theater troupe leader in Game of Thrones? Mark Hamill, known for playing Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, appeared in Game of Thrones Season 7 as a theater actor. What is the title of the leader of the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones? In Game of Thrones, the leader of the Night's Watch holds the title of Lord Commander. Who is responsible for creating the lethal poison known as the Strangler in Game of Thrones? Maester Qyburn was the one who created the Strangler poison, which played a significant role in the fate of certain characters. What is the nickname of Sandor Clegane in Game of Thrones? Sandor Clegane is known as the Hound due to his fierce and brutal nature. Who led the first successful invasion of Westeros by the Targaryens, leading to the establishment of the Iron Throne. Aegon the Conqueror, along with his sisters Visenya and Rhaenys, led the successful invasion of Westeros with dragons, establishing the Iron Throne. What are the words of House Targaryen in Game of Thrones? House Targaryen's words are fire and blood, symbolizing their strength and history with dragons. What kind of creature is Wun Wun, the massive being who helps Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards? Wun Wun is a giant, the last of the Free Folk's giants, and a loyal ally in the Battle of the Bastards. What is the official language of the Valyrian Freehold in Game of Thrones? High Valyrian is the official language of the Valyrian Freehold, known for its elegance and complexity. Who is known as the Red Woman due to her affiliation with the Lord of Light in Game of Thrones? Melisandre is known as the Red Woman in Game of Thrones due to her association with the Lord of Light and her distinctive red attire. What is the name of the famous blade that was used by Arya Stark to execute Littlefinger? The Catspaw dagger was used by Arya to execute Littlefinger in Winterfell during the final season of Game of Thrones. Which noble house, known for their water-based sigil, betrayed Robb Stark at the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones? House Frey betrayed Robb Stark at the Red Wedding, breaking guest right, a sacred tradition in Westeros. What is the name of the last episode of Game of Thrones that aired in May 2019? The last episode is The Iron Throne, depicting the aftermath of the series' key conflicts and character endings. Who is responsible for creating the fearsome creatures known as the White Walkers in Game of Thrones? The children of the forest created the White Walkers to defend against the First Men, but lost control over them. What is the title given to the most trusted advisor of a ruling monarch in Game of Thrones? In Game of Thrones, the Hand of the King is the most trusted advisor to the ruling monarch. What is the name of the ancient Valyrian steel sword currently wielded by Jon Snow? Longclaw is the Valyrian steel sword that Jon Snow inherited from Lord Commander Mormont. Who was the killer of Ygritte, Jon Snow's love interest during the Battle of Castle Black in Game of Thrones? Ollie, a young member of the Night's Watch, was the one who shot Ygritte with an arrow during the Battle of Castle Black. What was the original purpose of the House of the Undying in Qarth in Game of Thrones? The House of the Undying was a training ground for sorcerers to increase their magical abilities. What is the title given to the ruler of Dorne in Game of Thrones? In Game of Thrones, the ruler of Dorne holds the title of prince or princess. What is the name of the last book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin? The the final planned book in the series, detailing the ultimate fate of the characters and the conclusion of the epic storyline.